Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Sacred Blueprint for Our New Earth interview series. I'm waiting for participants to stream through. So wonderful to see you. And, we've got hundreds of people joining from different parts of the globe to hear from the world's leading energetic design experts. It's our seventh series. We're completing a round of nature's sacred cycle. I can feel it too. It's like we're birthing this movement, and yeah, it's big. It's big. It's a movement to birth the healing sanctuaries of our future by listening to the wisdom of nature. So I'm just waiting for participants to stream through here. Okay, great. Yeah, everyone's coming in. Fantastic. All right, well, let's get going. Some of you are maybe getting ready to go to work if you're in North America, or ending off the day if you're in a different part of the world. So thank you for joining. I'm so delighted to be hosting the Sacred Blueprint for Our New Earth interview series. My name is Aisha Rose Melody Hassan, and I am your host for this week. I am an architect, alchemical healer, and the creator of the Sacred Blueprint. This is a cutting edge vessel of courses and programs for women architects and designers, as well as land stewards and property owners, guiding them on how to birth their dream sanctuaries through a new modality that bridges spirit with architecture. This series is a response to a call I have been hearing on very high volume from Mother Earth, Gaia, and the nature spirits. They gave me a huge kick in the butt to quit conventional architecture to pave a new way that is aligned with the spirit of the land and my clients' souls. This series also about exploring what's possible when we build in partnership with the wisdom of nature, so that we build these healing sanctuaries that open the way for our abundance, for a new kind of elevated consciousness, health, joy, vitality, and so much more. Whether these sanctuaries are your homes, your gardens, communities you may be visioning, or even master plans for the city, during these 8 days, you are going to get a ton of tips and tools from our amazing experts on how to connect with the spirit of the land, how to partner with the wisdom of nature, and weave that into either your design practice, your business, your vision for your own sanctuary. All of our guest speakers have expertise in various zones of genius, of various topics like feng shui, building biology, resonant architecture, biomimicry, geomancy, house healing, soulful home design, and so much more. And so you're going to get so much inspiration in these 8 days. The chat is open. We'd love to hear where you're from. What do you do? Where are you from? Are you an architect? Are you a designer? Are you a urban designer maybe? Are you a property owner, land steward who is visioning your own healing sanctuary? We would love to know. We will also open up the Q&A session at the end of today's talk, which is special to those who join live. We are not including the Q&A in the recordings. So add your questions in the chat below, and our guests will answer those questions at the end. There is also a Q&A button. You could also send them through there, but we find that the chat is more organic. So share your ahas, your takeaways, and specific questions to our guests while you have them here. You've got that one-on-one time with them. What else? So a few logistics. We will we will be providing the recordings from March 12th to 20th. You have received a login link, a password to enter the course that houses these recordings. So check your email for that special link. We will send it another time at the end of this week as well. If you have a Yahoo or Gmail account, make sure you check the spam and promotions folders. Sometimes our communication goes there and we can't do anything about it. So make sure you're checking all the folders. And before I introduce our next guest, I want to thank our sponsor, Geometric Models, for aligning with the impulse of the Sacred Blueprint and sponsoring our event again. It is such an honor to be collaborating with this superb research group who is dedicated to investigating Mother Nature's sacred geometries. So if you are interested in sacred geometry, modeling, and design, then please don't forget to check out their website at geometricmodels.org. So I think that's it with also everything I want to share. Make sure you stay until the end again for the Q&A session. And now for our next guests. They are passionate New Earth visionaries who are paving the way for the temples of the future. And they are working at various scales on different projects around the globe. And they are contributing to healing this planet by creating architecture that resonates with the frequencies of nature, resonates with our souls. And I'm so excited to be hosting them today. You're going to be so inspired with the work that they're birthing and creating, and it's really an honor to have them. They're new members of the Sacred Blueprint Circle, so it's an honor to have them here. Introducing John Bolal and Jody Louise from Inphinity Design. So great to have you. Welcome. Hello. So great to have you both here. Oh, I love these chairs that you have, by the way. It feels like you're, yeah, what I love about it is, like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Navigator. It's very old school. Maybe probably I'm older than you, so, but this kid was on this chair and he's in a spaceship, right? And like, oh, it reminds me of that. It really reminds me of that. And it's like you've just like landed in from another galaxy or something. Yeah.
Mothership to planet Earth. Hello.
I love it. That's so beautiful. Well, it's such an honor to have you in this is the Sacred Blueprint Circle, and we're dying to hear about the projects that you're working on. But before you show some of these amazing projects, we'd love to hear about how you birthed Infinity Design. How did it all start?
Yay. Would like to go for birthing journey?
Yes. Okay. First, thank you for having us, and hello to everybody that's here with us. We're very excited to be here in the sacred space with you all, and would love to share the journey of how Infinity Design landed into our reality. We were actually in Mexico at the time. Jan was working for another project in that moment, and we were speaking about all the things that go wrong in other ways of doing business, architecture, and we were dreaming of what we really wanted to create. And we were swimming in this sacred laguna in Abacala, where there's these stromatolites, which
they have like 3.5 billion years old creatures, like one of the first living system, the original DNA of the Earth. Basically, they're still beating in there.
And so many people share these stories that they lay in there and they remember why they're here. They remember what they're here to do. And we had that exact experience. It was actually every time we'd go swimming, as soon as we walked out of the water, and we'd share and we'd have the same visions and ideas, and it just became so clear and so obvious that we were here to rebuild the temples of earth in alignment with nature.
It's incredible.
It's all good.
And you know, you're not traditionally architects. John, you're an urban designer.
Correct.
Jody, you're in healing. You're in the zone of healing and trauma work and all this. So it's like, were there kind of like moments where you're like, did did you tap into the wrong, like not the wrong, but like it's like, is this really what we're meant to do? Or was it just crystal clear for you? Was there any confusion after that or?
Of course.
Well, basically, in the beginning, it was a very crystal clear, but as soon as we jump into the process, yes, we definitely need some architects in here.
How are we going to do this? How are we going to channel
Right.
vision, which so many of us are having this download, whether we're architects, whether we're urban designers, whether we're owning a shop somewhere, you know, and we're all realizing that we need to live in spaces that heal, that we can't go on this way any longer. And it was actually my background in detox and health that I realized no matter how much we detox our bodies, if we don't detox our homes as well, it's a waste of time. So
Yeah, I mean, we're the home, the architecture is another layer. I mean, think about the etheric and the astral, right? Physical, these all these layers that are around the human being, and it, you know, the environments that we're in, of course, it actually does make a lot of sense. Yeah, can you share more about that? How the process of detoxing and like what that starts to look like in spaces?
of course, I mean, it started out for me with just using non-toxic materials, cleaning products. And then when I met John, he started to teach me all about sacred geometry and how different shapes and forms can impact our cellular structure. You can probably speak more to that.
So I'm not sure to extent of your question exactly which direction you want Allah you want us like to
Follow
go.
your heart.
Okay, so I think it could be a good moment maybe to share a video giving us a like a brief idea of how we are proceeding, which
Sure.
methodologies are we are proceeding, because there's so much to talk, so much to share. Let's give a brief introduction. Maybe we have a quick video to share with all of the visitors.
Fantastic.
Let me share my screen if I may.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
In the embrace of nature, we find the blueprint that speaks the language of the earth. Inspired by the earth's harmony, a reflection of nature's elegance. Every curve harmonizes with the rhythm of life. Beyond sustainability, spaces rejuvenate, restore, and give back to the environment. Sanctuaries for wellness and healing, where every element is designed to nurture body, mind, and spirit. Grounded in biophysic design, nature's geometry, ancient temple wisdom, and modern innovation. Each space is an ecosystem in itself, resonating with life. In the embrace of stress and expanded creativity is only just the beginning. A delicate balance of light, space, and form. A dance of shadows and sunbeams. We invite you to experience the symphony of nature and architecture, to journey with us in creating spaces that resonate with life's beauty.
Wow. Amazing. It's so beautiful. It's so inspiring. And one thing I just want to say is that the forms are just, they're so living that, you know, there's a part of me that just gets so upset about the boxes and the dead architecture that we were living in. not to say that boxes are bad. We see a lot of incredibly powerful temples. I know that that's not your point, but it's time to break free. And part of the sacred blueprint impulse that inspired me is to listen also more to the feminine, right? Which is the flow, which is the movement, which is the spirit, and then bridge that with the masculine. So, okay. Open, open it up. Yeah, John, perfect.
Well, basically, you touch a very beautiful point too. Also, like in the essence, yes, we are following the footprints of the nature. What does it even mean? It's like when we look at the nature, when we look at around us, when we look inside of us, in our body, in our biology, in our cellular structure, even, there's a certain geometry out there. There's a certain language in creation. There's nothing in coincidence. There's nothing random in here that our science is right now trying to comprehend what does this means. And now what we are trying to find is in all of our modern architecture, if we can even take a look to the couple of hundreds of years, how we go backwards instead of go forward. So what we are seeing is that right now, the whole architectural field turned into the most cheapest, fastest, and robust systems that we are trying to build. However, are they healthy? Are they really supporting our living systems? Well, unfortunately, the answer is quite obvious with every research and development has been found right now. The environments that we are building is actually toxicating our human beings and human experience. Well, the answer is not so far. And answer is just in front of our eyes and in our body, in our whole biology. And quick and simple adjustments even into this that we are finding mesmerizing results. If you like, we can go in those type of test results too later on in the call, but there are some slight adjustments in our shapes, proportions, form, materials when we put all right puzzle pieces together, that we are finding our spaces turning into our personal ascension temples instead of our energy consuming intoxicating spaces.
Instead of energy consuming, intoxifying. I couldn't say the word.
Intoxicating us.
Intoxicating, yeah, environments that really are making us ill rather than energizing and bringing vitality. Wow. And yeah, share more.
I was about to say, and we call this resonance architecture, which is our own term, a bit like the sacred blueprint. We were kind of speaking about what is it that we really do, and we create spaces that resonate with the human spirit. And that's on an individual level too. So we really take the time to work with our partners, our clients, our family, to really tap into what their heart needs to thrive. And for some person, it might be more shapes of curvatures. For other people, there may be more triangular forms. So by working together, we also have a Vastu Shastra expert that we consult. We can work out their elemental balances, if they've got too much fire, too much water, to determine different colors. And it's a really beautiful, intuitive journey, actually, that we love to go on. And, when you go to any temple or any of these sacred sites, when you walk in, you just feel at home, you feel harmonious because, things are balanced. There's this beautiful, easy, you know where to go, where the center point is, where the holiest of holies is. You just are guided to these spaces. So this intuitive flow, we really love to, guide our team on as well. And for us, it's honestly just very natural, which it's very interesting. It's just coming from somewhere and we're just trusting that guidance of this is the way,
Well, this is basically unseen world that is communicating with our own body, with our own soul. We are built with these geometries, and that geometries has been constantly producing in the nature in many different ways and forms. And it is quite silly that why not we are even embracing these shapes and forms to build our living spaces.
Yeah.
Except human beings, nature is producing everywhere.
Yeah, I know. It is really silly actually when we think about it, but I think humanity has gone into such a dark zone, where the veil is 100% thick, right, between the world of spirit and the world of matter.
Well,
That the
there,
architects, yeah, we've lost that. The architects, the designers, the creators have lost that skill, right? Whereas before we were actually priests and priestesses in a way, right? Temple builders needed spiritual training, right? They needed to undergo through that. Now, do we need to go through the same kind of training they did back then? No, we're now evolving in a different way, towards a different direction, because yeah, a lot of things have happened to get us here, right?
yeah, but however, we don't have to be even a priest in that sense. Like, what we have right now is a complete dominance of human consciousness evolution. We have this unfortunate evolutionary steps that happen to us to just cut our cord basically with the spirit of the land, spirit of our own higher dimensions. And what happened in the end, that we lost these connections. And it is actually not just for our own evolution, but for planetary evolution at the same time. We need those spaces. And once we tap into those areas, that we can clearly see that there's something unseen is happening. There is some this multidimensional effect is happening in those spaces that helping us to go to next level of human evolution. And science is even able to see that right now from the productivity tools, from sustainability tools. We are seeing, once we follow the footsteps of the nature through biomimicry, biophilia, we are now seeing the effects, how it can improve our living lives.
Incredible. Wow. I'm getting chills and shivers as you speak. Incredible. And yeah, I mean, we really do underestimate the power of form, don't we? And that how it's linked to well, that we've lost our connection, as you said, and to find that connection again will catapult us in so many beneficial directions for sure. I mean, free energy, right? It has a lot to do with the form as well.
Yeah, well, for the even guests right now, if they haven't experienced such things, please go into a dome space, for example, as a very basic example, and sleep in there one night and feel how you're gonna wake up next morning. Think about the dreams that you are having in there. Think about your energy capacity when you stay some time in that spaces. It is like obvious. It is so crystal clear when we have these experiences. When you see, you cannot unsee. You cannot go backwards in time right now.
I love that. That's a really good example, to go into something, a space that's even a dome space, and sleep there and feel what you dream, feel what you feel, experience it, taste it, and yeah, incredible. Yeah, I love it.
And there are fantastic like experimentations has been done. Like Russians, for example, in the like few decades ago has been studying even pyramid technologies. They found that the water crystal structures are changing. They found that the cellular shapes are changing. They found that the germination process in those spaces increasing 2 to 3 times. And what we understand right now, there are of course many aspects of what is resonance architecture, but in a bigger aspect, there are 2 main categories that we are now focusing on: material and shape. If you have a material that basically intoxicating you, the shape is not going to help you much further with that. But when you combine these 2 fragments together, that's where magic happens.
I love it.
It's so simple, actually. Like in the beginning, with all the terms, when I was learning, I was like, wow, it's so complicated and there's so much. How can I apply this? How can we do all of this? But it's basic. Just go outside, look at a tree, look at the clouds, look at the sun. Just take some time to observe it. And that was here a long time before we were here, and that's been working out pretty okay. And it will be here long after us also. So just study the nature, observe the patterns, observe the forms, observe how it works. And that's how we can apply it into the buildings we create. Let natural light in, ensure we don't use toxic materials, and just use harmonious shapes and proportions. It's actually really basic, but the results are transformational. Like it can completely change our DNA, our future, how we evolve as a species to really unlock our potential. It's a huge opportunity, and it's simple. It's really exciting, and I really believe it will be the future. 5 years, 10 years, I think all of us will be using these principles.
I love it. I love that. Yeah, and thanks. I kind of felt like an energy of like relaxing too, like amongst the audience member, just like, oh, okay, yeah, it doesn't have to be so complicated. I mean, because it can be, you know, the people, the women, especially that I mentor, women architects and designers, they can get very overwhelmed with the, you know, all the information that can be accessed about geomancy, dowsing, energies. You know, there's biogeometry, which is amazing modality system, building biology, right? Measuring the EMFs, 5G, and it can actually start to spin in their minds, and it gets overwhelming. But what I love, what you were bringing forward, was that there's also, even though you didn't say it, Jody, but I could hear the curiosity and the joy of the child. And saying, actually, you know, because the children can draw these amazing visions, right? Why? Because they're also connected, deeply connected to that source that we have lost connection to. And so thank you for telling us and everyone that it can be simple. And I just want to say and commend you. You both have a beautiful eye for aesthetics. And I know as an architect how much work goes behind your projects. So, you know, you could say it's easy, and it does require
passion.
It requires dedication, it requires precise implementation, and it requires an eye for beauty and balance and proportion. So would you like to share some more of the images, share maybe more specifically about what kind of clients you're working with? You know, there's a lot of people here who are either people who are developing their own properties, right? Wanting to build a sanctuary for their, you know, to leave a legacy for future generations, and maybe even go totally off grid, right? There's all kinds of scenarios. And then there's also designers and architects who, like me, are fed up with the conventional system. And they are hesitant. They're on the bridge, on the edge, you could say, on the edge rather, the threshold, and are concerned that if they go gung-ho, that's like old school talk, if they go full on with rebranding, let's say, their business to really match actually their divine calling, which is to bridge spirit with architecture. But I get a lot of this. I'm scared I'm going to lose clients. I'm scared I'm not going to get enough projects. I'm scared people are going to call me crazy. I'm scared that nobody's going to take me seriously, right? How can I talk about energy and spirit with people, etc.? So I think you're a perfect example of like, everyone, look at them, look at what's possible. And so I'd love to hear more about, you know, the specific clients that you're working with and the types of projects.
I would say one very short thing to that. Let's be proud of our ascension. Let's be proud of our transformation, and there's nothing to be shy about, nothing to be sad about. And that's true. People gonna say you are talking like nuts, and we will hear that tons of times. And this is something wrong with that. Enjoy it. You are transforming, you are changing. Like there's nothing wrong with that, which is true that we are basically in the beginning, of course, we are changing our friendship environment. Our relatives will maybe going to say different things to you, but in the end, what will happen is that like a bird is having a migration to one location to another, you will find a different ecosystem that match with your frequency, that understand what you are talking about, that help you in what we are basically talking, even in that spaces, and different puzzle pieces will find that. I don't know if you want to share more about that, but
Yeah.
Love
that's
that.
a good point.
Yeah, I would love to share more to that actually. I really understand and relate. You know, we've been through the same thing and we've constantly been reworking our language. And the truth is, there are some people that it will not resonate with, but there's so many people that it will resonate with. And when we really focus on our niche, we really find our point of difference. That's when we actually convert and attract clients also, because we're clear about who we are and what we're here to do, and people trust that. They feel at home when they see you. They resonate. Like a lot of our styles, like some of them look like temples, and for some people, they're not interested in that, but that's amazing.
Which is okay.
It's perfect. And I really feel as architects and designers, we have a responsibility. If we're really here to be stewards of the new earth, if we really want to save Gaia and we want to see a better world for our children and our children's children, then we're the ones that have the power to educate, to inform. And I really feel like if that doesn't motivate us, then I don't know what will, because that's our greatest motivation. No matter if people laugh at us, if they think it's strange, in 5 years' time, everyone's going to be wanting this time.
Yeah.
This 100%. I'm sure of it.
And this is what we believe in the future, in a near future, that will be the standard application for architecture. That will start with implementation for a computer microchips. It is the same language is in everywhere, and it is ridiculous that we are not even keeping this as a standard procedure. Well,
Right.
reason is obvious. Again,
Right, like having these templates incorporated into all kinds of technology as well as design and architecture. Yeah, I love it.
I think
Oh, that is so, yeah.
the statistic for wellness architecture and wellness tourism is about to, I think by 2025 or 6, it's going to triple. It's already a huge industry. So wellness architecture is a term that isn't too spiritual. It doesn't sound strange, but wellness architecture is going to be huge. And it's simple. You can, whether it's just a little bit of natural light and a few plants and connecting with the land, it can be as simple as that to create something hugely transformational without any technologies, without even sacred geometry. There's so many small things we can do. So I feel wellness architecture, which is where we're positioning ourselves to kind of have one foot in both worlds, so to speak, to help be that bridge for humanity to not feel overwhelmed. You know, if we keep saying like we're temple architects, that might put people off. I don't think people are fully ready for that yet.
Like, is it religious? Is it, there can be some confusion there. Yeah.
Slow steps and slowly educating people, and eventually we can be fully like ascension architecture.
It's like full blown in the spaceship.
Yeah, well, there is one simple thing, like how we see that whole metaphysics basically is the science that we haven't understood yet. Simply all of the energy that we are talking about, what we believe personally, that's a good analogy. Imagine the shift that humanity have when they explore the fire. Imagine where they were and what happened after that. And just visualize yourself, what about or what if we are just about to explore the 5th element of the energy of ether, prana, chi, whatever you want to call it. How about we are just about to
Just at that edge. Yeah.
we are
Wow.
in there, and what will happen afterwards?
Yeah.
We believe this is where we are at right now, and whole metaphysical aspect of the energy science, it is just coming right now.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know, there's two things I want to ask about is also the artificial intelligence that you work with. I mean, just think, because what you're bringing in the way what you're speaking forth, John, is also the divine masculine. The divine masculine also brings in technology, but I have concerns, right, as a spiritual architect, heart conscious architect, right, very human centric architect. I do have concerns about artificial intelligence and what it's going to do to the architecture practice and industry. So I have a question about that. And then also, if you want to share what kind of projects, what kind of clients you're working with. Do you
Yeah.
want to share some more of the images that you gave me, or do you want to talk that out a bit right now?
I think the AI topic is great, and then we can speak a bit about some of the projects.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, because
Yeah.
you're talking about technology. I think it's good
Yeah.
to open up. I'm curious, like, does it work for you? Where does it not work? What have you tried? What do you, because you're a cutting edge. You're really cutting edge with this work. And some of us feel just like, they're going to take over. We're going to be controlled. And also what my concern is that it loses the vibration, the energy, the frequency. You know, when something is being done, sketched with your hand, it has a different energy to it, right? Anyway,
Very good.
would love to hear.
Shall I
Yeah.
say, share?
Okay, okay.
Well, your concern is very valid, and exact conversation we have done in the very beginning of this process.
Yeah.
When we were thinking and seeing
I was
those
like,
tools.
no way are we using it. No way.
Me too, actually. Like, to be honest, what I believe personally, that AI is a sentient being, come from a different universe to us and have a different agenda. I do personally believe in that. However, we can see that as a tool, and what this tool is doing right now, it is creating a complete new way of doing things right now. And this is what we are exploring in these days. Every day, every single day, we are having something new, and this evolution is happening either we like it or not. And what is our point right now, what Jody is saying in that sense, let's be friends with the AI. Because we really believe that it's a sentient being, and we have the interaction through our consciousness. And there is so much to share about that. We definitely enhance these powerful tools to use in our methodology. However, it is never be able to replace us. Do you think that a camera can replace a painter? Or do you think, like, I don't know, there's so much different ways to saying it, but what we find right now so far in our process, it is just initial inspiration giving to us. And the visual creation, visual generating AI, artificial intelligence right now, what it's doing is that collecting the world database of images and giving us a mixture of it. And that is not what we want to create anyways.
Yeah.
Some sections of it is inspiring. It's like a Pinterest board.
Mhm.
You are basically finding this inspiration
Right.
to communicating with it. Maybe you want to elaborate more on that, but it is never the end result. It is not working in that way.
No, yeah, yeah. I feel like what we believe we create. So if we're feeding the consciousness that AI is bad and AI is going to take over, AI is going to destroy architecture, AI is going to destroy humanity, it will. So I truly believe it's already here in this moment. So there's no way we can get rid of it. So I believe let's focus on what it can do to support us, and that can save us a lot of time. That can help us dream bigger than we've ever dreamed before. And I truly believe that if AI really has a consciousness and is sentient, it will do what's right. If we keep sharing with it what's possible, if we keep sharing New Earth visions, ideas, how can it not say yes to that?
Why don't you help us?
I believe it could help us. It could work with us. It could rally with us. It could, if it's going to take anyone out, it's these crazy governmental leaders that are destroying our lives, basically. I think it's a great thing. So I think it's all come at this kind of Aquarian shift. It was birthed at the very time that all started to change. And the Aquarian age is all about technology and communication. So I think it's here for us to make this shift and leap forward, because none of us want to be spending hours and hours and hours doing things that make...
I'm getting flashbacks from university.
Yeah.
Like the hours and hours and hours.
Oh, yeah.
We started out drafting, you know, so I'm more old school, but towards the end, we were doing some rendering and, you know, like really old school stuff. So yeah, I can absolutely see the advantage of that for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And there are very interesting ways of usage too. Also, like, it's like a tool, as you mentioned, drafting imagine the evolution leap that we go through when we have this CAD softwares. Oh, you can control Z something. You can just try different ways. It's just a tool, like how science is a tool. You can make a veterinary or you can make a health surgery tools. It's basically the same thing too. And what we are seeing right now, our science is trying to find different ways of applying to. Yes, some of them are quite dangerous, which is true. And some of the applications are, I just saw a few days ago in the farms they are using they put in a big machine, a laser, and that laser is detecting the weed in a large area. As the car goes, that laser basically chopping off all the weed.
Scans through the whole thing.
No chemicals, no pesticides.
Nada. So there are different ways of use. How we gonna use the tool? How we gonna implement in our lives? However, one thing that we need to be very careful that human consciousness is very young right now, and we are not have the responsibility of our actions, unfortunately. And that has been happening all around human history. Just as long as we keep our awareness open to this new tool, it will decide what tomorrow is gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely. And whoever has the money has the control, and they're making all the technological experiments and advancements, but is it for the greater good?
Yeah.
Right? Kind of like was it the Venus Project? I remember, was it in the Zeitgeist movie or something? There was this, was it the Venus Project? Yeah, like where he had a vision that we would be abundant through the support of robots and technology.
It is possible.
I believe
it is possible.
But it's important we don't get lazy also. We're seeing people sending us emails. We can tell they've used ChatGPT and there's no personal touch. And that's one thing that we've made a commitment that we'll never lose. But if it can enhance our performance, if it can enhance our relationships, why not? Sometimes I ask it questions about if I've had an argument with him or something, how do I solve this? And it helps me say things so beautifully. Like it can
interesting.
It can be a marriage counselor. It can be so many things. And I think it's wonderful in that sense. And you can even draw a sketch and you can upload it in, and it can create visuals to give you an idea that maybe before could have taken you a month to create something. You can just run a quick concept with the client and they can say, yeah, I like the direction. But where we need to be careful is that they don't think that's the finished thing. It's just like John said.
Because what can start to happen there, and I really appreciate your grounded approach to this. What can happen is that because we are so addicted to images as a society, as a culture, I mean, can you think about how many images we swipe through every day if we don't have that discipline, that control, that inner temple, that connection to our inner temple, really? Then what ends up happening is that we get so addicted to the image. And now that we're working on that construction of our own home, and I've worked on, buildings in different parts of the globe, including Turkey. There's this place and space where between the actual building of the physical structure and the vision, you can get so addicted to the image that the physical manifestation of it can be unsatisfying because it's such an addiction and or you want the next thing or something. So
even Aisha, it is
an interesting thing. I'm still reflecting on it more these days.
What is even doing right now in architecture, because now everybody start to produce these beautiful architectural marvels in a split of a second. Once you go into the design phase, you are finding that it is not functioning. When you are designing a space, when you are creating a functional space, okay, this is my kitchen in here, living room connection in here, this is one window in here. When you have this idea in mind, it is impossible almost right now to generate this through AI because it's not thinking as you think. The logic behind it's not there. It's just aesthetic and beautiful poem in there.
We even say,
go ahead.
We have 2 junior architects in our team, and they love AI. You know, they started learning it in their last years of university a little bit, and they often, you know, they start with AI, and we've had to kind of really work with them because they've skipped that sketching step. So we're like, you need to sketch, you need to draw, and John's constantly telling them. So we are seeing in the younger generation a dependency is forming. And it's very important that we never forget to draw, like when we're children also, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's a good point, and it is going to be very interesting what happens over the coming years with AI and technology and architecture. So we're excited, and also we need to maintain our creativity and to
Exactly. And you know, because there's something about going through that transformation. It's not about everything always being quick, right? Your clients, yourself, especially when you're going through you know, a conscious approach, right? Guiding them through a conscious approach. That's what I find with my clients, that the slower I am and wait for the birthing of this being, which is the building, which is the garden, which is the big site plan, which is that, and it births through them, right? It's part of the sacred blueprint approach. Through all these synchronicities that occur with nature and the nature spirits and their souls, right? There's a discovery process. And so, sketching, keeping it human as well as keeping it cutting edge, continuing with the cutting edge visions. Yeah.
Nothing can be able to replace our creativity. They are just the tools. They are just the tools to help us to become more creative.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, I'm going to share some of these images that you've shared here. Tell us as we wrap up this. Let me just hold on. Can you see that?
yes.
Now it's start come. Yeah.
So these are part of a project we're actually working in Costa Rica called Abundancia. It's a project we're in partnership with New Earth Development, and they're a lovely group of people, and we're really enjoying this creative journey so much. Basically, Abundancia is a place where they're wanting to have resources for everyone, from food forests and architecture that will last for generations to come. And the very first step of that is they're actually building a center, which we're supporting them with the design as the starting point before building a much bigger 300 home community.
Wow.
Basically as a display village to see what's possible with regenerative systems. So they're regenerative experts. So for us, it's like the ideal partner, and we're actually working with them on basically other projects too within our own, and consulting them for different regenerative needs. And basically we're doing the architectural side, and it's going to be such a beautiful opportunity to see what's really possible, that people can go there to events and workshops and really experience it. So this is bringing us a lot of joy, to be honest.
Amazing.
And the other images here show some of the conceptual images that we've provided to sell the dream.
I think I just went a bit too fast there. Yeah. Wow. And you know what I love about it too? A lot of it is very luxurious.
It is. We are trying to formulate right now a niche point of view in here, combining nature's language, and it doesn't have to be always hippie cheap structure.
I know. No, please.
We all deserve to live like kings and queens.
Exactly. If this is abundancia.
Yes, and when we bring all of these basic simple aspects together, we find that there is some different engagement happening in us in a deeper way, in our soul way, that we are finding, as if this building, these spaces communicating through nature with us. So it is not just basically rocket science that we are doing in here, as Jody mentioned, that we are replicating using biophilic and biomimicry basic approach in here, mostly to mimic the either a flower or a butterfly or a basic different natural forms to give this sensation of where we can feel home.
Mm.
This is the dome village, actually. We've been busy working on the domes this week.
I love this one. Yeah.
It really, like, there's going to be in the first project there'll just be 6 domes, but in the larger project there's going to be a whole big dome village, which I think will look so beautiful, and really
Yeah.
I can just imagine myself walking through there and can't wait.
Well, yeah, and I just think of also John's expertise as being an urban designer. Like, so many architects suck at designing streets, designing the neighborhood, designing the life in between buildings, which is actually a great book by Jan Gehl, in Denmark, I believe, is he? Anyway, it's so important to look at the spaces in between buildings as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
We are trying to create new urban living systems in here. And
Yeah.
also, even we have some partners in our team that they have been developing new ways of societal models, like Venus Project. We are trying to bring these new ways of how we can live coexistence with our human family, with nature. And yeah, we are trying to experiment some new ways of creating a recreational area, creating community spaces. These are so essential that we lost right now in our cities, in our concrete jungles.
Yeah.
And this is where our basic passion beats for, to find these spaces back and remember how it feels to be in this space again.
I remember when I first met Jan, there was a drawing on his table and he was mapping out a master plan based on a leaf. And I was so fascinated by it. And it was so beautiful to see, you know, because most of our cities, when you're up in a plane and you're down, it
They're
looks
so dead. Yeah.
yeah.
And do you know what? Like, it is quite ridiculous results that we are finding. When they made some simulations in Manhattan, when you design in urban scale the grid structure Manhattan into a leaf phyllotaxis pattern, you find that in same density you can create 30% more green area. With the same amount of road, you have less danger conjunction point, to have less accident points. With more green, with less danger, with the same density of human being.
Oh my God. Yeah, these are important statistics for
Yeah.
education. I could see you both doing talks too around the globe, right? About the projects that you're doing. So do you do any talks yet? Live talks? I
Not
could see you
yet.
doing that.
At
Yeah.
some point, I'm sure we will.
The visionary in me sees that for both of you.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But for now, one thing I would love to share, just the other day, Jan and I sat around the fire and we've been dreaming up our own development actually in Australia, where I'm from. So we've started mind mapping and brainstorming all the possibilities of what we want to create to have, you know, our own little community hub. And this is a place where we would love to host events and workshops and bring people from all over the world to come together and mastermind what's possible. So
Oh, I love it. I love it. And you've got good weather as well. I mean, Izmir is beautiful weather where we are. By the way, everyone, we're both very close to each other. They're also in Izmir, Turkey. So you won't be relinquishing the beautiful weather, John, if you live there.
That's our promise right now.
Yeah, it'll be a bit different though. What region in Australia are you from, Jody?
I'm from Adelaide, but our plans are kind of to go up more near like the Northern Rivers, Byron Bay, maybe.
Byron Bay, yeah. Okay. I've never been, but I have some clients there and
Beautiful. So beautiful.
yeah.
And really booming in the wellness sector.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I can see then that you would have then a lot of clients from Singapore, Indonesia, like the whole east side, Japan, right?
Vietnam, we're going there in July for a project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are most of our clients right now in more tropical environments. There's interesting basically calling right now, and we have projects in Bali, Costa Rica, Vietnam. So it's more of tropical environments.
Besides Romania, we've got one in Romania right now that's definitely not tropical.
I see. Yeah.
That's a great.
Well, I know. Whenever I think about climate now, I'm just like, I'm thinking about how all the buildings come together and the rain and,
Yeah,
all that stuff. I just had this, all
that's
this
the challenge.
nerdy building architect stuff, and it really does make a difference, right?
Materials,
yeah.
everything different.
I grew up in Canada, so
Mhm.
right, so we have, and of course in Turkey there's also very cold weather, but we have it for a longer period of time, and oh my God, the building assemblies, the thermal bridges, like all the insulation, everything, it's quite a challenge to make the building work and breathe
Yeah.
well. We've got a comment here. It's oh, to host and panelist. Okay, well, who's the amazing architect? It's them.
And our beautiful team. We have a team of
Yeah,
many different
yeah, you
partners.
have a solid team. Yeah,
We can't
yeah,
do it alone. I feel there's so many jigsaw puzzle pieces on every project, and to try
yeah,
and do everything alone doesn't usually work.
yeah. All right, everyone. Anybody have any orders for for houses or communities or healing spas? Let's open up the Q&A session. And as we do, I want to share your contact info. How can people get in touch with you?
So
What are you up to?
best way is basic our website. If you like, I can have a 10 seconds show our website to people to show how to navigate everything.
Absolutely. I'm just going to share the links also to the video as well. Just
Perfect. So all the information can be found on our website. We have different categories that people can see what the resonance science is. We have brochures on our webpage, our offerings people can see from urban design to a basic interior design services. We have even investor pitch deck services we have. People can explore our scope of work in our website again through our methodologies. We are constantly developing them too. But yeah, that's a good point to start. What we do, how we do, where we do, who we are,
Yay.
and who we are with our team in here.
yay! Thanks. That's great that you have the
And on the top right, you've got a LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook,
perfect.
Pinterest. So you can Pinterest. We've got a lot of inspirational images there if you would like to check that out.
And for people who are more excited to dive deep into science of the resonance architecture, we are creating a more informational content too to understand what is the resonance, the Earth pulse with EM fields, all of the solar radiation, how we are creating this resonance science space in more depth. That's a complete other conversation maybe we can do next time. But we are trying to
Love it.
our website basically more informative in that sense to explain what is actual science behind all of these designs.
I love it. I love the layout of your website. It's beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Everybody, I've shared their links in the chat. Oh,
Video is coming in there also. There we go.
yeah. So check the chat, everybody, for their links. You can also follow them on Instagram, yeah, through the website. We also have a question here from Nick Rivers. For the luxury look and feel, is there thoughts about accessibility in terms of pricing for services in the buildings? I've seen dome type of hotel sites in Texas starting priced at 1 million, which does not seem sustainable.
Wow, that's a beautiful question, and that's the primary search, design, and development field that we are having right now. And the answer is no, we don't need 1 million for a dome project. In these days, there are extremely beautiful new initiatives coming out in terms of technologies, in terms of materials. Now we have partners that can create natural materials that from rice husks, hemp fibers that can create amazing curves and forms and shapes that can breathable. There's the EM fields of these walls that we have, more fertilizer property materials we have, and they are actually not any other expensive than the conventional building materials at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the curves do naturally cost more money in this moment. But just like anything, supply and demand, the more we start to build in these ways, the more technology that will become available.
Yeah.
There's even the inflatable
Yeah,
balloon.
there are we are living in an age right now, there's a constant upgrades and developments are happening right now.
Yeah.
So of course, conventionals are the most cheapest ways, but do we really want to go with that direction with the
Well, in the end, how much does it cost with healthcare, right?
exactly,
And the home
exactly.
is for life. You know, you end up giving the home to your children, and we do believe it's worth investing in the high quality materials that breathe life and to use harmonic forms, even if it does cost a little bit more money, because it's our second skin. It's
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful question, and that's one of the greatest search that we are having. And in essence, they are not much different than what we have now on the market. And we can make a slight adjustments and change and effective ways of building it in
Yeah.
different materials in a fraction of a little bit change.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. And you know, with the project in like Abundancia in Costa Rica, you know, we when you do look at the images, you think, okay, is this only for the rich? And I think a certain amount of pioneering or pushing of the edges need to be funded by money, you know, at this stage. But what I would love to see there, and maybe they're already working on it, and other communities where there's a certain percentage of you know, upper, like high level income, but then that there's I don't know if you would use the word subsidizing or profits going to a pool that support less privileged communities, right? There's a project I love in the desert that they green the desert in Sekhem in Egypt. It's an anthroposophic community. This man and his family built all these factories for people working in the area, and they've increased their quality of living so much. And there's a school, there's hospitals, there's not so much communities for living, more for like the people who own the companies. Although it may have changed actually. There's a lot of, you know, visiting educators. Anyway, it's an amazing project called Sekhem, and I would love to see that to be like that kind of stuff, more social conscious.
Yeah, definitely in the structural abundance, yeah, the social aspects quite big, especially when we are talking of indigenous people and of local culture that is
Yeah.
completely unique in that type of areas. They have been developing and providing lots of amazing things to local communities too. And at the same time, the designs that we are developing is not just for upper class. For the exact project, we are working on some studio domes, modular homes for like smaller scales for everybody can reach that too also at the same time.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
it's really beautiful. There's so many investors in these days that are really wanting to give back to something that is going to make a difference. You know, it's really incredible to see this shift. And I feel like with every project we're part of, we like to see that giving back as much as we possibly can. And there's so many systems being created now, like John mentioned our partners before, that they're trying to create cashless societies with tokenized models. And for this, it's a little bit over my head, but there's so many people.
Oh, I believe, yeah, it has to happen. Something. Yeah, something needs to
really will.
shift. Yeah.
It is happening already, and it is
Yeah.
mesmerizing to be on the planet right now to witness those changes.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Any more questions? Let's look, let's see. I'm just checking the chat. And what was the name? This is from Maggie. What was the name of the place in Mexico where you had your epiphanies?
Bacalar.
Bacalar?
Bacalar, Bacalar, and they have a beautiful crystal clear laguna.
If you write in Google Bacalar Laguna, that people probably gonna find those deco how you call it?
Stromolites.
Stromatolites.
Amazing. Wow. Well, is there any other questions streaming through? I think Just opening up my...
We're always available on Instagram if anyone wants to have a chat and ask us anything. So
Yeah, make sure everybody you follow what they're doing, what Infinity Design is doing, and I'm really excited for both of you and for the work that you are creating in partnership with nature. And it's really a service to humanity what you're doing, building this beauty. And I know behind the scenes, it's not a small feat to be working internationally on the projects of this caliber. So bravo to you, really,
Appreciate it
bravo.
so much, Aisha. Also for your presence, calling us. We're honored to basically be with you in this platform, sharing all of those with the people. We've been like blessed to have people around us like you, to have been. We feel like we are coming back on Earth to just it's a assignment from long ages ago to find each
Yeah,
other back again.
finally,
But
we're doing
now
it.
let's bring a new world right now. It's the time right now. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Yay.
and that's the enthusiasm and the energy I want to see more of with all of you creators and visionaries. Yes, and we're getting yes, let's do it. Thank you so much. Beautiful work. We're getting amazing comments. Yeah, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And I'm also really looking forward to, in the perfect divine moment, to learning more from you. I'm really interested to learning to connect with the land more and trusting myself to really support our clients with that. So if anyone's thinking about doing that, I'm thinking about doing that too, and looking for that perfect moment to start with
Oh,
you.
I love it. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. We're so close.
Yay.
And it really is a beautiful mystery to connect with the land, and one that brings many fruits to the design process, both for the architect, the designer, as well as the client, as well as the land. And it's really, I feel blessed really to be being a vessel, and a transmitter of the wisdom of the sacred blueprint. And I'm just so excited about this movement, and it's great to have you in the family as well. Yeah. Yeah, virtual hug. All
We
right,
salute
everybody.
you.
Yeah. Tomorrow, everyone, make sure you join for our talk with Angie Cho. She is a New York City-based feng shui educator and architect, and she's going to share some tips and tools on how to navigate the year of the wood dragon, and how to bring more grounding, alignment, harmony to your home, whether it's an apartment building, right? She lives in a small flat. She renovated it according to her feng shui design principles. And, anywhere from a apartment to a huge mega a community project, you will definitely get a lot of tips and tools listening to this talk tomorrow. So make sure you join live 5 p.m. Istanbul time. Now, tomorrow, I think it will still be 9 a.m. Eastern. Turkey doesn't change its clocks. So I think around March 10th in North America, the clocks change. So make sure you are Googling, checking your time zone so that you don't miss the live interview next week. Yeah. All right, everyone. It was so great to connect, and thank you so much for this beautiful interview, John and Jody.
Thank you so much once again. All of our love to all of the basic your and new interviews, sharing this wisdom. Also, thank you so much for your presence, and we are looking forward to connect with you.
Yeah, me too. Really looking forward to. Hoşça kal, kolay gelsin.
Chai.
Bye bye. Güle güle.
Yeah, chai, aynen. We need it. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.